I was lucky enough to get to go to the Leeds United versus Brentford match. Well, I say that it wasn't the best game of football, but I was able to go there as part of the press, as part of my job, and that meant recording the press conference. I've done a little bit of stuff with work for it, but they've said that I'm okay to post it. So, here is the post-match press conference from Leeds United versus Brentford, and I have sort of labelled when all of the times are for each of the questions, so you know roughly when questions are started, answered, that kind of thing. Anyway, enjoy.
Daniel, a bit of a war of attrition at times tonight, or another one I should say. Why do you think it was so difficult tonight to create clear-cut chances?
Yes, I think you could today see why Brentford is not just an established Premier League side, but also a side who is sitting in position 7 and fighting for Europe. You could see that they're rock solid at the back, really good defensive area. And they had many players on the pitch, offensive-wise, 3 really good footballers in midfield, and up front also players who played with confidence. Thiago, 19 goals, Schade, many goals, Ouattara later on, many goals. I think it's the first side since a while who could handle our physicality here in a home game. They even adapted their base formation, first time since they played Man City and Arsenal. They changed back to a back 3 in order to have good solutions also in terms of defending. They defended really well, and on the other hand, it's also against such an informed offense, you have to make sure that you don't run too much into counter-attacks and allow chances for them, because when you have a striker on the other side with 90 goals and Schade and Ouattara, can be also difficult. I'm pretty happy with the clean sheet. I'm pretty happy that we controlled all their counter-attacks. They are such a dangerous side out of counter-attacks. Yes, the last final composure in and around their box was of course missing a little bit. We are probably the only side who has played 2 times against Brentford who has dominated in both games, each and every statistic. So also today, more possession, I think 14-6 shots, 6-1 or 6-2 corners, more expected goals, but it was still a tight game because they didn't allow really clear-cut chances. It's also a bit an expression of what we are, so it's not like we, with unbelievable creativity or individual quality, we can cut the opponent into pieces. We have to bring our mentality in, our fitness level in, our tactical flexibility to be able to change a base formation, to ask questions. Yes, and if you then are missing a bit like the final push, like in the periods when we had a bit of a power play, you could feel, especially in the second half, we had lots of momentum. Yeah, then it's more or less what was missing a bit, the anticipation. And I think, for example, about Pascal Gross' header after a corner, normally we have a clear process who goes on the far post and is there with the tap in. We didn't do the run, so the last final being switched on, the last final imagination, anticipation where the ball comes down, that was missing a little bit in order to score the first goal. And for that then we have to settle for a point and also for a valuable point and a clean sheet.
It feels like quite a while since you were able to create real danger off a long throw. Is it worth persisting with simply because of the aerial threat you have in the team?
Overall, I know it's very much in common also, but it's not like a team scores normally 7 or 8 goals out of throw-ins. Perhaps the very best side, Brentford, had the season where they were doing this, but meanwhile also not that much, because everyone right now also knows a little bit what to defend this, also why they react, and had so many tall players today in order to match this situation. But then sometimes you can score out of a second phase. Yeah, was not to be today, but still something that we need to use, because we don't have on this level unbelievable individual quality that we, with our creative play up front, can create chance after chance. We've scored for promoted many goals. Not the last 3 or 4 game days, you have to say. Yeah, but sometimes there is such a period. And also, I think last game, Crystal Palace had many chances first half, missed even a penalty. The second half was difficult, also like in Underload. Today we played the side who was so rock solid in defending, was difficult. Yeah, sometimes you have to accept it and keep going, and then to make sure that you don't lose such a game by running into a counter-attack. And it's another valuable point, of course. Would prefer to have scored today at least 1 or 2 goals, and it's also like if you score the first goal, the opponent has to open a bit more. It's all a bit easier, but yeah, if not, then it's more like you have to make a tight game and wait for the moment when you find this quality in order to finish one of your chances.
Was it a big surprise to see Brentford come with a back five? Because like you say, it's been since early December they played with that. So how did that affect your pre-match plan?
We have especially prepared the first game against them for 3 and 4 man formation. We knew that they can play it. Today we expected a bit more form because since mid of December against Arsenal and Man City, they have not changed anymore. And we were thinking, okay, they are also chasing for Europe anyhow and have to win and want to bring all their in-form offensive players on the pitch. I think was also a bit a sign of respect that they've shown today in order to change their base formation a bit. And we took this as a positive sign and want to take this, but it was still difficult to create against them. So we were then, of course, aware also what to do, and we have faced 3-man formations. For example, last game day, and we know more or less what we have to do in order to create chances to score goals against them, but it was still very difficult because, yeah, if they are really focused and concentrated on defending, then it's very difficult to open them.
No goals in 4, 1 open play goal in 6. Are you alarmed by that, or are you confident that the lads are doing enough and the tactical system is working enough to change that pattern?
No, not alarmed, because on the course of 38 games you have the spirits, and overall we have scored many goals. We had a period where we've conceded a few too many. For that, it's more the other way around. I'm happy that we have right now 3 clean sheets in a row. This game, Crystal Palace, and also FA Cup game against Norwich. Also there, we've scored more goals than any other team in this round with 3 goals and created many chances. Also against Crystal Palace, first half we created chances, yeah, but if you even miss a penalty and have to play an underload, then it's also sometimes difficult. Today I would just judge this game isolate because they had really, really good defensive play, you have to say. And then you have to accept this. So overall, we are very aware that we don't have the individual quality where you have to expect, okay, your offensive players, you need to beat the player and score a goal. We have tried everything today. We start the game more or less with 2 strikers and number 10 on the pitch. Later on, we even wanted to go a bit more, was a bit risky, of course, because we sacrificed also centre back and brought more offensive thinking player with Daniel James in, and then changed back to a 4-2-3-1. Had many offensive thinking players on the pitch today, different type of players. So with Dominic, with Lucas, with Brennan, with DJ in the end, with Noah Okafor, without Tanaka, also more offensive thinking midfield player. Because we wanted to win this game and want to set the sign, but it was also important not like to do something stupid and to lose this game, and you want to run more or less into counter-attack after counter-attack. This is what we've done today. It was not enough to score goals, but over the course of the season, I think we've proven that we have goals in us, and I'm pretty sure that if we keep going like this, we also score enough goals in the upcoming games.
Thank you.
Daniel, the other day you said, you've had your 38-point mark, but you might need potentially a bit more than that. Do you still have belief that this side can do that?
Yes, of course, we edged 1 point closer. So we always spoke about, I think 2 weeks ago, from 7 to 9 points. Right now, our point per league 33. Right now we have to win 5 to 7 points. This will do it. Means we need to win 2 games, or we need 1 game and a few draws. Or whatever, we draw from now on each every game. I will also take it, because with 40 points you definitely stay in this league. And yeah, this is why it's relegation battle. Relegation battle is a battle. It's not like a easy cruise anyhow to the promised land anyhow. So I expected a tough season where we have to fight to the end in order to keep our chances. We are right now on 33 points, which is quite good. We are in the quarterfinal in the FA Cup, which is even better than. Yes, and I'm very confident if we keep going with this mentality and this togetherness, the spirit, also this level of performance, that we have enough in order to win this right now 5 to 7 points that we need, because we have 3 upcoming home games and 4 chances on the road to do this, and I back my players also to do this. Yes.
How's Pascal doing? Seemed to land quite awkwardly.
Yes, I hope it's just a cramp and nothing major. So first assessment was okay, so not an injury, just like a bit fatigued because we had many sprints today. Game was stretched. We had to defend many counterattacks against players like Schade and Thiago, later on Utara. Yeah, he had to put lots of high-speed distance in, and I think he was just a bit tired, so shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. Hi Daniel. Dominic's not on a great run of goals compared to how he finished
around Christmas time. But obviously you got the England call-up this week. Going away with England for 10 days, is that the kind of experience at this stage of the season that can give a player kind of a boost, a mental boost and a confidence for when he comes back to finish the season with you?
Yes, of course. So sometimes also like to have a different setup could also help. But I also got the feeling with him he's pretty focused and aware of the situation. He's experienced enough to know sometimes as a striker you just have to watch a ball and then you have a record streak of whatever it was, 5 or 6 games in a row where he scores. Yeah, and sometimes you even miss a penalty. Anyhow, although he has scored before each and every penalty that he took in the league, at least before. So sometimes you have the spell and then you have to stay patient and stay positive and you have to handle also your emotions anyhow. And he's experienced enough, and in order to know, he just has to keep going and has to delivering and not to concentrate just on goals, more or less concentrate on working for the team, and then the goals will come automatically. But yeah, some positive experience with Thomas and his team can be very beneficial, yes.
Were you happy for him when he got the call? Were you personally happy?
Yes, of course, because he deserves it.
Yeah.
He had difficult years behind him and many doubters anyhow, and then he's played a fantastic season so far. But again, season's not over. It's not just I wanted to achieve for him a call-up. I want to achieve with him that we stay in this league, and this is the main goal. And for that, hopefully he chips in with a few more goals, a few more assists, and also some further on good performances.
Daniel, do you think that'll pour a bit of confidence into Calvert-Lewin, the fact that he's got this England squad? I know he's not in a great run at the minute, but you know, when he comes back to Leeds and the fact that he's going into camp with England, that will give him a lot of confidence and self-belief.
Yeah, should do this. So it depends a bit on how the days their work, but yeah, should of course give him confidence. If you're called up to one of the teams who is favourite also to win the World Cup in the summer, and you're involved as one of whatever 3 or 4 strikers or central strikers, then it should give you natural confidence. But he's a confident boy anyway. So for that, I was not even too worried before. But it's definitely does no harm.
Yeah, you've got your long-standing relationship with Tuchel, haven't you? I just wondered how much contact you had, haven't you? Did he pick your brains on Dominic before picking him in the squad this week?
Like I mentioned before, Thomas and I, we have a very good relationship. We know each other since years, since we've worked more or less at the same time in Dortmund. So I have his number, he has my number. But if there is any conversation, we just keep it private, and I keep it private because I don't want to speak in public too much about it. Thomas, I think, knows that Dominic is in good hands here, and yeah. I think decisive is also not my relationship to Thomas. I think decisive is more like what Dominic does on the pitch and what he shows, and for that it's important that he keeps going also in the upcoming weeks, and if he delivers further on good performances, many goals, also confidence and a good run of momentum, good run of form, then he has all chances also to be on the plane.
Take the last question on the front.
Daniel, the timing of this international break, sometimes from a manager's point of view it can come at a really inconvenient time, sometimes it can be a bit of a blessing. Where do you stand on this one? Are you going into it thinking, result, nice time to have one, or is it a frustrating one?
I've learned not to moan and to take it how it is. So sometimes also, you know, we have to go always over the line as a promoted side, not just physically but also mentally. And for that, it's sometimes also good to have a spell when you can recharge a bit, not just physically, because we'll also train further on pretty hard, but especially mentally, that you have also perhaps a weekend when you don't have always this pressure, okay, you need to win the points or you need to go into the next round. But to us, it's also just one weekend, and then over next weekend we have then already a big game ahead where we want to go into the next FA Cup round. So for that, we take it as a positive that we have right now a bit time also to recharge, a bit time then, especially in the second half of this international break, to train proper on the training pitch, and then to prepare also like in the best possible way for West Ham. Yeah, then we have 2 competitions where we can write history for this club during the season. This is what we want to do.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.